Imagine walking along the River Thames or through Central Park in New York, and suddenly you see an Egyptian obelisk. You might think, how did this get here? The answer takes us through history, colonialism, and ongoing debates about cultural heritage. The two ancient Egyptian obelisks, known as Cleopatra's Needles, were built at Heliopolis in 1450 before Christ. Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Ottoman governor of Egypt, gifted one to the United States and another to Britain in the 19th century as a diplomatic gesture. However, their transportation to foreign lands remains a subject of controversy, raising questions about heritage ownership, cultural identity, and restitution. Despite being gifts, they were transferred during a time when Egypt was heavily influenced by Western and European forces. The morality of the gift is complicated by the fact that Egypt was ruled by Ottoman Empire. Many claim that in order to preserve the component of historical identity, it should be returned to Egypt. The removal of significant cultural artifacts like Cleopatra's Needles have profound effects on cultural identity. Ancient monuments are more than just relics, they are representation of the heritage of a civilization. However, the obelisks have become an integral part of the metropolitan identities of New Yorkers and Londoners. They symbolize not only Egyptian culture, but also a time of diplomatic relations and international expansion. Would returning Cleopatra's Needles resolve the conflict? While repatriation can be a powerful gesture of reconciliation, it is not always a simple solution. Removing the obelisk from London and New York would mean dismantling historical city landmarks and possibly risking damage in transportation. Restitution also affects the institutions concerned in a wider way. Returning these objects could be interpreted as an admission of guilt, which would undermine public confidence and pave the way for additional reparation claims. This presents challenges for museums and local governments who hold these relics. Refusing to return them, however, might worsen conflicts and lead to charges of cultural imperialism. Mediating conflicts over cultural property is a major function of institutions like National Heritage Boards, ICOM, and UNESCO. They advocate for reparation measures and set standards for moral acquisitions. However, political interests frequently limit their influence. Their most successful function is to promote communication and talks between the host and home countries to arrive at just resolutions. Given the context and how most relics that lie in museums are taken away unwillingly, as a matter of fact, it might be considered as cultural appropriation. If the country agrees to share its cultural knowledge instead by giving its artifacts and traditional relics to foreign countries so that people from other places get to know their culture, then it might be more aligned with multiculturalism practices. What can be a creative solution for the resolution of this conflict? One choice is to work with the countries of origin on conversation, research, and exhibition rights through shared heritage agreements. For example, the way Cleopatra's Needles are exhibited overseas could benefit from a greater curatorial presence from Egypt. Another solution is rotational exchange, which permits artifacts to be temporarily exhibited in their nation of origin before moving back to their current places. In conclusion, like many other lost cultural objects, Cleopatra's Needles represent histories of identity, diplomacy, and conquest. Their relocation serves as a reminder of the power relations that influence the distribution of cultural material around the world, even though it was not the result of violent thievery. Today's task is to redefine the discussion to include shared responsibility, cultural respect, and how to guarantee that historical assets keep relevant and accessible to everyone, rather than just ownership.